When President Trump chose Mike Pence in 2016, I think it's fair to say uh, members of your coalition were comforted by that. And over that first term, I think he was consistently vocal in supporting your issues with the president and helping to
Yeah.
push push those issues. What are you looking for now as President Trump uh, figures out who his next vice presidential running mate will be?
Well, let me preface my remarks by saying, the good news is, we've already seen this movie before. This president, this candidate, has already chosen a running mate, and I thought at the time that it was the perfect pick. I still think it was the perfect pick. Um, Mike Pence was a full spectrum conservative. He was a high impact player inside the building, inside the White House. He and the president had an outstanding relationship. We obviously know that that changed later, but at the time when they were governing together, it was one of the best selections for vice president in my career. And that's saying a lot because we've had some good ones. And I expect to make the president to make the same quality pick again on the same criteria. And that criteria, I think, is really threefold. And I don't want to speak for him, but you asked my views. Number one, someone who shares his views and values. Doesn't mean that they can't have a difference of opinion on occasion. Doesn't mean that they can't view some things differently. I think he would benefit from that counsel, but you can't have somebody in your administration who's not rowing in the same direction. So shares his views and values. Uh, and I'll just add parenthetically, as somebody who was part of the Reagan wave and then part of the Gingrich wave in the 90s, and then I worked for George W. Bush as part of his political team. When you see these big movements wave through a party, like the anti-war movement in the Democratic Party in the 1960s and 70s, like the religious right or the Tea Party movement in the Republican Party, Michael, you generally don't go back. I think the MAGA agenda and the leadership of Donald Trump is decisive, and I think it has changed the party. So you want somebody who shares those views and values, number one. Number two, somebody that you're comfortable with working as your partner in governance on a daily basis, because they're going to be working together for 4 years. And number three, somebody who's ready to be president. That, I think, was the criteria in 2016. I think that's the criteria now. The good news is we have an almost embarrassingly long list of people who fulfill that criteria. I don't know if I want to get into names today. I've got a lot of friends who want to be vice president, and I'm for my friends. But let me just say, I'm glad I'm not having to make the decision. Okay.